JBNN, we keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, Prime Minister Holness leads special mission to Haiti. Prime Minister Andrew Holness left the island Monday morning to lead a special CARICOM mission to Haiti. He is expected to return later this evening. In a release on Monday, Jamaica House stated that representatives from the Bahamas, Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the CARICOM Secretariat, will be a part of this mission. Haiti has been facing humanitarian challenges since the assassination of President Jovenel Moise, with gangs overtaking parts of the country, erecting toll booths on main roads where they collect monies for motorists for safe passage and run police officers from their stations, which were destroyed. Some countries have promised aid to Haiti as they face this time of turmoil, including Holness, who said last month that Jamaica is willing to send members of the security forces to Haiti as part of an international effort aimed at restoring stability to the violence-torn nation. The release added that other Jamaicans who were part of the delegation include Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Camino Johnson-Smith, and Ambassador Rocky Meade. Ex-SSL boss files defamation suit against vlogger Shellyan Coron. Former CEO of Stocks and Securities Limited SSL, Mark Roscary, has filed a defamation lawsuit against vlogger and businesswoman Shellyan Coron for tweets and videos reportedly posted by her in the wake of the multi-billion-dollar fraud scandal engulfing the fraudulent investment firm. Coron, who is the host of a newly launched online talk show, is accused of defaming the businessman in a series of tweets and videos posted on her social media accounts in January. The said words published by the defendant on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube on or about January 23 deceptively juxtaposed my client to an ongoing national scandal, which was alleging fraud by persons with the same family name as him, but with whom he was no longer involved in any business, Roscary's attorney, Monique Morrison, said in the documents filed. Additionally, the lawyer said that the assertions are wholly false, in that the claimant is not responsible for or connected to allegations of fraud facing the entity. Roscary, in the lawsuit filed on Friday in the Supreme Court, is seeking damages for defamation, negligence, aggravated damages, as well as legal costs and interest. The offending posts are said to have caused loss and damage to Roscary's reputation. The businessman is contending that he was injured in his credibility, character, and reputation, suffered mental pain and anguish, and was put through considerable trouble and anxiety. The defamation suit was filed after Coron reportedly ignored the businessman's demand for a retraction and an apology. In the documents filed, she is accused of referring to the retraction dismissively in another social media post instead of complying with the order to remove the post. On Sunday, Coron said that she was not aware that a claim had been filed and that she would ask her attorney to check on the matter. She declined to comment on whether she had made potentially defamatory posts on her social media accounts, but indicated that the posting on Twitter was a tweet that she had retweeted. SSL became embroiled in a fraud scandal this year, which led to criminal charges being laid against a former employee, Jinon Panton. Roscary, who had served as CEO at SSL from May 2007 to March 2018, has denied knowledge of any fraudulent activity during his tenure. The issues raised in the public domain concerning SSL have nothing to do with me, he said in a statement weeks ago. When contacted on Sunday, Morrison said, Mr. Roscary is fully intent on protecting and preserving his reputation against a series of falsehoods that had been uttered on various platforms, including social media. He is fully intent on using the course of law in ensuring that justice prevails and is confident that this will be the case. The attorney used the occasion to remind the public that social media must be used in a responsible manner and should not be weaponized without basis in an attempt to destroy the character or reputation of individuals. One dead in motor vehicle collision on Old Harbour Road. A woman is dead and 2 others injured after a Nissan Tido motor car collided with a truck on Old Harbour Road, St. Catherine, in the vicinity of Jamaica Broilers around 8 p.m. on Sunday. According to reports from Sergeant Kevin Francis, who is assigned to the Spanish Town Traffic Department, the truck was headed in the direction of Spanish Town from Old Harbour when a black Mercedes-Benz overtook a line of traffic. This, Thomas said, caused the Nissan Tido motor car, which was driving in the opposite lane, to swerve out of the way of the Benz before the driver lost control of the vehicle, picked up a skid, then spun around, and the rear of the Tido collided with the truck. One female passenger was reportedly pinned in the motor car. She was removed and rushed to the hospital, where she succumbed to her injuries. The other 2 passengers are being treated at hospital. Fatal crash in St. Mary death toll climbs to 3. A crash on the Stortown Main Road in St. Mary has left 3 friends dead and 2 other individuals nursing serious injuries at the St. Anne's Bay Hospital. Police sources said that 29-year-old Sidney Condopper, a taxi operator of Coffee Peace, Highgate in St. Mary, and 2 male friends, identified as 30-year-old chef Kishan Richards of Clonmel, St. Mary, and Sadiki Feathersing, were traveling in a Toyota Probox coming from Ocho-Rios. The men were reportedly coming from a party and were heading to another in St. Mary in the early hours of Sunday morning. Condopper said to have overtaken a line of traffic when he collided with a Toyota Hiace bus which was coming from Port Maria. The car ended up in a ditch, and firefighters, who were quick on the scene, reportedly had to cut the victims from the mangled vehicle. He died on the spot. His friends died while receiving treatment at the St. Anne's Bay Hospital. All-Ireland cricket competition interrupted by gunmen in Hanover. A Jamaica Cricket Association JCA All-Ireland cricket match was interrupted over the weekend in Hanover by about 9 gun-wielding men who reportedly walked on the field brandishing their weapons. The first of a 2-day match was in the second innings when the incident, which had nothing to do with the game, reportedly took place, leaving spectators running for cover. The police who confirmed the incident were unable to provide details. The police said they were not informed of the planned match before the date. However, reports received are that sometime between 4 and 5 p.m. on Saturday, 9 men entered the Elgintown community. A fight later ensued, in which a man was reportedly beaten and guns were drawn. It is not clear if the man was the intended target. Frightened spectators who saw what was happening reportedly ran for cover, following which the men reportedly walked onto the community centre field where the match was being held with guns in hand. The police who arrived on the scene reportedly advised the organisers to call off the match. President of the Hanover Cricket Association, Dwayne Clayton, has acknowledged that his association, which was responsible for the planning of the event, fell short of informing the police of the planned event. He said going forward, this will be done. A distraught Clayton said what took place is not looking good and work has to be done to prevent a reoccurrence. It is a very bad situation and we're looking to see how we cannot have this issue reoccur. It is the first time that we have something like this and we need to as an association work together to try to prevent something like that from reoccurring, stated Clayton. He said the association is looking into the possibility of relocating matches to its prior venue, Rossies High School Campus 2. In the past, matches were held at Rossies before it was moved to Elgintown. This is also the first match in 5 years at the Elgintown location. Clayton said no decision has been made by the JCA as to how the match will be completed. Man shot dead at St. Thomas Beach. Police in St. Thomas are probing the shooting death of a man at Bailey's Beach in Yallows in the parish on Sunday afternoon. The man has been identified as Kenneth Powell, who police said was some poor man scorn in St. Thomas and Tivoli Gardens, West Kingston. Police said preliminary investigations have uncovered that around 2:50 p.m., Paul was a patron on the beach when several explosions were heard. The police were alerted and, on their arrival, found the now deceased lying on his back with multiple gunshot wounds. The police said he was clad in a white t-shirt and brown khaki pants with a knapsack on his back. No motive has been established for the killing. Man held with homemade gun in Lawrence Tavern charged. A man was charged on Saturday in connection with the seizure of a homemade gun with 1 9mm round of ammunition in Lawrence Tavern, St. Andrew. He is 19-year-old Ryan Allen of Goulburn District in Lawrence Tavern. The police report that about 4:20 p.m. on Thursday, February 23, a team was in operation in Goulburn District when a man was observed. The police say acted in a manner that arose the suspicion of the cops. He was accosted and a bag he was carrying was searched. During the search, the illegal gun was found in the bag. He was subsequently taken into custody. Following a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney, he was charged on Saturday, February 25. His court date has not been finalized. 2 in custody following gun and ammo seizure in Manchester. 2 men are in custody following the seizure of a gun and ammunition during a motor vehicle checkpoint operation on Java Main Road in Asia, Manchester on Sunday. Reports from the Asia police saw that about 10:20 p.m., a Honda Fit motor car with 2 men aboard was signaled to stop and the driver complied. The vehicle and its occupants were searched and a black bag containing 1.38 revolver, along with 3 cartridges, were taken from the vehicle. The men were subsequently arrested. Their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. Policeman loses appeal of conviction for causing grievous bodily harm. Former police constable Jerome Graham was convicted in January 2018 of punching a taxi operator in the face rendering him unconscious, as thus his appeal against his conviction for causing grievous bodily harm. The court upheld Graham's conviction and sentence of $600,000 or 4 months imprisonment. The incident occurred in a dispute between Graham and Chester Daly, while Graham and another policeman were performing traffic duties in Mandeville, Manchester, in April 2014. The prosecution's case was that Graham accosted Daly, who was operating a taxi. They got into a physical altercation and bystanders intervened. Daly agreed to walk with Graham and the other policeman to the Mandeville police station. A prosecution witness testified that Graham was walking behind Daly and was holding onto his clothing, but Daly wriggled out of Graham's grasp and turned around, faced Graham and said something to him. Graham then punched Daly in the face and he fell to the ground and was motionless. Graham gave an unsworn statement in which he said while escorting Daly to the police station, the taxi operator punched at him. He said he evaded the punch and Daly appeared to have lost his balance and fell on his back, hitting the back of his head. He said Daly appeared to be unconscious. The parish judge rejected Graham's account and found that it was unlikely that Daly would have fallen on his back while throwing a punch at Graham who was in front of him. The judge accepted the prosecution's case that Graham punched Daly in the face, causing him to fall and hit his head on the ground. Graham appealed his conviction, but the Court of Appeal said last week in its judgment that Graham had failed to comply with the requirements of the Judicature Parish Court Act, in that his notice and grounds of appeal did not set out the facts and the point of law on which he intended to rely in support of his appeal. Senior Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Jeremy Taylor, and Crown's Counsel Tiba Dyer had referred to the breach of the JPCA in their submissions opposing the appeal. President of the Court of Appeal Justice Patrick Brooks, Justice Jennifer Straw, and Justice David Fraser, in dismissing the appeal, said that although the JPCA allowed it to hear an appeal despite the breaches, this is not a case in which it should exercise its discretion in favor of Mr. Graham. The court heard arguments on the substantive matter and found that Graham's complaint against his conviction was without merit. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.